Welcome to The Complete Teacher, 101 meaningful, bite-sized professional development lessons, each coming with thought-provoking titles, relevant, inspiring quotes, helpful text with anecdotes, data, and wisdom, and action steps. Lesson 26, Differentiating Learning Environment, DI 5 of 5. Carol Ann Tomlinson says, "We don't get to decide whether we have challenging students in our classes, but we can certainly decide how we respond to them." Remember, leading thinkers on DI generally place DI strategies into one of four categories: content, process, product, and learning environment. Flexible grouping and adjustments to the learning environment can provide all sorts of options for independent and collaborative learning. Here are some ways to use the learning environment as a tool to differentiate. Differentiating the learning environment refers to varying settings in which your students work. This could include physical locations in the room, throughout the school, or a place at home where students can work quietly, have access to technology, or are encouraged to collaborate. For virtual learning, this is perhaps even more imperative since students need a quiet or productive workspace designated for their schoolwork. Also, establish a culture that invites different types of learners. For instance, design your classroom as a place conducive for all students to learn, from those who might need to move around the room to those who might need a quiet place to sit and work independently. Classroom materials or settings might also reflect various cultures or home settings to differentiate the learning environment. Perhaps more importantly, learning environment differentiation is optimal when the teacher has clear guidelines for transitions and independent work. When the teacher is occupied and students need assistance, established routines should be in place to optimize instructional time. Flexible grouping, where desks are ready to quickly transition from rows to partners to groups, can also be used advantageously in this context. A classroom with rows or groups of desks is common, but it is not the only way to learn. Pay attention to your students' learning needs. Give them options and guidelines as you mix up the settings in the classroom. The need for social distancing in the classroom presents a distinct challenge to learning environment differentiation, as schools balance effective learning with the need to keep students safe and healthy. How do teachers encourage interaction and collaboration when students must stay physically distanced and stationary? Specific to virtual instruction, I have observed teachers effectively engage students by having them create effective spaces at their desks, having them do scavenger hunts around their homes, build towers with household items, or otherwise learn kinesthetically through Google or Zoom meetings. Regardless of the setting, the possibilities are endless for learning environment differentiation. Whether traditional classroom teaching, hybrid teaching with smaller class sizes, or providing virtual learning, consider how to use varied learning environments to best involve students. Action steps. Ask yourself how you vary setting or learning environment to allow all students to succeed. How are seats arranged to quickly change settings if necessary? How can the high-energy students move around and get their wiggles out? How can those that need to focus find a quiet spot? Need a copy of all the Complete Teacher lessons on slides? Looking for an e-reader or physical copy of the Complete Teacher? Want to browse thousands of other top-rated engaging resources? Check out the links below.